is how you do a sports car. Oh, I love this car. Oh, yes. Jason Cammisa. Yep, V8 Vantage. You got it. All right, bye. Jason Cammisa. Yep, I'm telling you, you could have a loaded Prius, or you can have an Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Yeah. Jason Cammisa. Dude, you can call me all day. Answer's gonna be exactly the same. Vantage, you got it. All right, take care. Forget about the 911. Lady, seriously, listen, enough. Mom! Aston Martin V8 Vantage.
Since I review cars for a living, I get tons of calls from people asking for advice on what to buy. When they say the word sports car, I literally always respond with Aston Martin Vantage, the little one, the two-seater, the most beautiful sports car of the last 20 years, or 40 years, or perhaps ever. This 2017 V12S is the same Henrik Fisker styling masterpiece you've been looking at for 11 model years, with orange lipstick. I'm not a fan of the paint scheme here. This car looks like a creamsicle. In fact, I have to admit that I think the original V8 Vantage was prettiest. The V12 models really suffer from those hood scoops. Over the past decade, there have been multiple powertrains in the Vantage. It's had 2 different V8s, 2 versions of the V12, a 6-speed manual, or either of 2 automated manuals. The Vantage gets replaced next year, and this is the last one. It's got the 563 horsepower V12, the good one, and a particularly interesting brand new 7-speed manual. That alone would be a big deal because this is the only V12 powered manual transmission car in production in the world. But wait, there's more. This isn't just a regular manual. This is a 7-speed dogleg gearbox. If you don't know what dogleg is, please bear with me while I nerd out with a whiteboard. This is a prototype, so there's no shift pattern. When racing cars went to 5-speed transmissions, the best thing they could do was put 2, 3, 4, and 5 in an H pattern because those are the gears that you use on the racetrack. Number 1 is used only for getting off the line, so everything's in an H pattern. This gear layout fell out of favor once 6 speeds came around because there'd be no reason to have a dogleg for 6th and 1 for 1st. But now we have a 7-speed, so this can now keep all of the gears you'd ever use on a racetrack in an extended H pattern. That makes this a very special transmission indeed.
Wouldn't it be faster with a dual clutch?
I have a German cameraman who's obsessed with 0 to 60 numbers. Yes, maybe it would be faster to 60 with a dual clutch.
And more efficient.
No, yes. You could possibly program it to be more efficient with a dual clutch, but is that not the point of a sports car?
You want a slow sports car.
I want a fun sports car, so help me God, I'm gonna tase you. Listen, it is not about, I can't, bad German! It's not about speed, it's fun! If Aston Martin cared one lick about 0 to 60, they would have never put a dogleg transmission in this car. Doglegs suck at 0 to 60 because that 1 to 2 shift takes precious time that you really don't have in a car this fast. In fact, if Aston cared at all about acceleration times, they would have never geared the car like this. Look, the gears are really, really short and closely spaced. You are constantly shifting. Watch this. So first, over, second, over, third, over, fourth. You're just, fifth. You're just constantly shifting on this track. This is like driving a Miata with 562 horsepower. It is just absolutely savage, just ripping through the gears, like next. It is lots of fun in ways that modern cars don't like to be.
So many modern cars like to make everything easy for their driver. Not this one. The dogleg pattern means none of the gears are where they usually are, so you'd better think long and hard about what gear you're going into, lest there be a wallet-shattering underhood kaboom. You'd also better be on your A-game when you go for the gas. The second you're on throttle, the diff locks and the Vantage flings itself sideways.
you might as well turn off stability control, downshift a gear, and do stupid drifts all the time.
Nerdy engineers might call the lack of rear end grip a dynamic shortcoming, but I call it fun. This car is from the UK, where it rains 364.5 days a year, and the roads are all covered in slimy moss or something. Point is, you're not going to set a land speed record on damp roads, so you might as well just focus on fun. That's probably why British cars seem to prefer being sideways to going fast. If this handling characteristic came up as a Tinder match, why, I'd swipe right, super like it, and then lick my phone.
It's just so brilliant and insanely fast. The Porsche 911 has always been the sports car benchmark and still remains that way for most people. I disagree. I think the 911 has become more of a supercar, meaning that it's more concerned with the performance and the numbers than it is, say, the experience. My evidence for this is that car has all kinds of devices on it that are basically cheating aids for lap times. Things like turbochargers, things like dual clutch automatics, lest we forget magneto-rheological engine mounts, and rear wheel steering. I mean, that car is a computer on wheels with the sole mission of lap time, lap time, lap time. This thing has no tricks, no computer gadgets to help you go faster, just a big V12, a manual, and a mechanical limited slip differential. It's all about you doing the work. I defy anyone to drive this car and say, oh, it needs turbos.
But it would be faster.
Stop, faster's bad. How ironic that this car has no gizmos or gadgets to make it go really fast, and yet it does 205 miles an hour. Is there any place in the continental United States where you'd be able to drive 205 miles an hour? I mean, maybe a dry lake bed. The Silurian dry lake bed, which goes 2 miles in that direction. And because it's not a road, it doesn't have a speed limit. Wow, that's really spooky. I've never been on a dry lake before, so I don't know what to do. I mean, there's no visual reference points. I can't see where I'm going, so I think the most prudent thing to do is floor it. Wheel spin, wheel spin, wheel. Wow, there is no traction at all. Third gear wheel spin at 90 miles an hour, rev limiter. Wheel spin, 100 miles an hour. Fifth gear, 110, wheel spin. Buck 20. Buck 30. Buck, I don't like this anymore. No more.
Would I drive at 205 miles an hour? Sure, but not on dirt when I was still fighting wheel spin at a buck 30. That top speed is completely irrelevant. On a racetrack, on a closed road, or on a dry lake for that matter. You're never gonna hit it. That just proves my point. This numbers game is stupid.
Which brings us to the subjective. This is just a quad cam V12 that sounds great, responds instantly to the throttle, and pulls so cleanly everywhere in the rev range. Listen to that noise. This is the kind of car that begs you, just abuse me. Abuse me. This is how you do a sports car. Like all the other Aston Martin Vantages, This is a sports car. This one just happens to be supercar fast. You get all the benefits of a sports car, meaning a comfortable ride, great visibility, none of the compromises that you get in supercars, like sitting crooked and not being able to see out of it. There's sound deadening in this car, so you're not assaulted by road noise and bumps and all that other stuff, and yet you still hear real mechanical noise. But everything you do here is not just real, it's nice, it's pleasant. Hear that engine? There's no electric power steering to filter out wobble from the front wheels or vibration from the roads. You're feeling what the front wheels feel, and man, does it feel good. This is still the best steering in the world. There's nothing else fake happening either. I mean, the stereo speakers aren't playing you a tune of a good engine. You're listening to the good engine. Come to think of it, this has Bang & Olufsen stereo in it, so if they did pipe in engine music, it would sound really good.
But does it have Apple CarPlay?
Apple CarPlay? Why would you care about Apple CarPlay? Yes, for 2017, there's a new navigation system and it has Apple CarPlay, but I'm not gonna tell you about it. Why? Because A, I don't care, and B, well, it's a prototype and, it doesn't work.
So the car isn't finished?
The car is finished. The car is perfect. The car is absolutely finished and it's perfect. Maybe the navigation system isn't perfect. Do I care? No.
But it's so stupid.
Stupid? You know what's stupid? You and your stupid obsession with CarPlay. Who cares about navigation system? This is a sports car. Get back here! Oh my God, I'm gonna tase him until his spit boils. Get over here!
No more tasing! Stop it!
Listen, it's not about the numbers. It's about the experience. People like you ruin sports cars.
While so many car companies are searching for their identity, trying desperately to figure out how to remain relevant in the coming future where autonomous vehicles rule, Aston has already figured it out. Make cars that are amazing to drive, that look like sex and sound like a symphony, and people will lust after them. This is an organic sports car, one of very few left in the world. Supercar speed, sports car performance, and the icing on that creamsicle is a dogleg manual from the 7-speed gods. For the last 10 years, I've been telling everyone who'll listen that the V8 Vantage is the best sports car in the world. Well, it's just been replaced by this V12S. If you called me tomorrow and told me you had 200 grand to spend on a car, this is it, my top choice. There's nothing else in second place. Only 100 of these are coming to the US, so if you want one, you'd better act fast or you'll have to move abroad. Don't make me get the taser out.